Hi friends, welcome to Things You Can Do, a podcast where each week I'll be sharing a different recipe for you to try if you're looking to improve your mental health and well-being. My name's Emily, I'll be hosting this podcast, and today's episode is just going to be a little introduction to Things You Can Do, what it is, what it's about, and also a little introduction to me. So I thought that I'd start off by just telling you a little bit more about myself. Just to give you a little bit more backstory behind what Things You Can Do is and how it came about. And then I'll follow on with more about what Things You Can Do is. So I'm going to take you back to about 10 years ago. If you'd have been speaking to me 10 years ago, you would have been speaking to a very different Emily. I was living in the city. I worked a job that I really didn't enjoy, and I was in a very unhealthy relationship. I struggled a lot with low self confidence, low self worth. I didn't believe that my friends and family really cared about me. And I struggled massively with overwhelming amounts of negative thoughts and emotions. And I just really struggled to handle them. I'd often have angry outbursts. I was very unkind to myself. I often took it out on other people, and I was very reactive to situations. And obviously, those reactions would then reinforce the negative feelings and thoughts that I was already experiencing. And I was kind of just stuck in this very negative cycle that I didn't feel like I could get out of. Um, and part of the reason why I was struggling so much is because I knew somewhere deep down inside of me that this wasn't actually my true nature. That this was all kind of a result of life happening to me and me not knowing how to deal with everything that I was experiencing. The level of the emotions I was experiencing, I'd never felt before, and I didn't have the tools to know how to manage them, how to process them. And yeah, I just knew that the experience of life that I was having at that time was so far off what I knew it could be. And I just had this deep desire to um, find that place within myself where I felt grounded and calm, where I knew I loved myself and I was confident, and other people's thoughts of me couldn't sway how I felt about myself. And yeah, I just knew that it was possible. So I set out to find as much information as I could on things that I could try to help me get there. And that involved me reading a lot of books. I watched a lot of TED Talks and YouTube videos. I did a 2-day free life coaching course. I read a lot of motivational quotes on on Instagram, and I spoke to friends and family. There were things that I tried that I don't even know where the idea came from. Some of them just came from me. Um, and yeah, I eventually worked my way to that place that I desired to be. I am now in a place where I feel content with myself. I I feel grounded, I feel confident, I'm in a healthy relationship, I live in a beautiful part of the UK, and I can honestly say that I really love my life and I feel happy within myself. And of course, I still experience negative emotions. I sometimes feel angry, I sometimes feel sad, but it doesn't ever get to the point where I lose control and it overwhelms me. I'm able to sit with it and um, figure out what I need to do in that moment, get to the root of why I'm feeling that way, and resolve things that might need resolving, or just really take care of myself in a loving and compassionate way, and not in a way where I beat myself up for not being in tip top condition. And so the whole point of things you can do is um, I just want to share everything that I learned. So it's a collection of all the things that I tried that had some form of positive impact on my mental health and well-being. And I am going to be delivering those in the form of a recipe. So, with step by step instructions, a list of things that you might need, how long it might take, how difficult it is, and some tips on how you can get the most out of each recipe. And I also just want to share some advice that I have when you are engaging with things you can do, um, because these are lessons that I learned that I found made all the difference in me being able to get where I wanted to go. So, the first piece of advice that I have is, don't just read things, try them. I I read so many things on Instagram and in books, and it wasn't until I actually put them into practice that I really could reap the benefits of them. And I suppose a good comparison is that you can look at a bar of chocolate and you can you can have someone describe what it tastes like to you, but it isn't until you actually eat the chocolate that you really understand how great that experience can be for you, or how maybe it doesn't work for you. Um, yeah, so don't just read things, try things. And kind of following on from whether you like the chocolate or not, try everything because you don't know if you will like it or not. There's going to be some things that you think, oh my God, this is amazing. This is going to do miracles for me. And then you try it and you're just kind of like, meh. That, I mean, yeah, but I don't feel any any significant any significant change from it. And there are other things that you might look at and be like, what the hell? Why is this even included? Like, I don't see how this is going to work. And then you try it, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This is like gold to you. You just don't know. So I definitely recommend trying everything, because if you try something and it's not your cup of tea, then that's fine. You don't have to use it again. Um, but you never know. You might just come across something that works absolute wonders for you, and that's the tool that you can use for the rest of your life if if you need to. Um, yeah, third my third tip is to not give up, because it is so difficult at times, because you feel like you're not making the sort of progress that you want to make, or you can feel stuck, exhausted, defeated, and man, it can feel hard, and you just want to like not even try anymore, because it can feel really really crap when you're not where you wanted to be as quickly as you wanted to be there. But don't give up. Just rest. Sometimes you just need to rest. You need to not push yourself so much towards a goal, and just rest, and eventually the energy to try again will come back. When it comes back, you do the fourth piece of advice that I have, which is to try again and keep trying. But try and be intentional with your tries. So reflect on why it might not have worked last time, and see what you can learn from that experience and then take the lesson forward in your next effort. So, for example, if you decided that you wanted to try and have an open hearted conversation with someone you care about, but when it came to it, you got so overwhelmed that you forgot what you wanted to say or you didn't say everything, then a lesson that you could take away from that is to make a note of what you want to say before you go into the next conversation, and then use those notes as cues so that you don't forget. And so, the whole point of trying again is just really trying to be reflective in the process as well, um, and make little changes as you try, and until you figure out what's going to work for you. So, yeah, that's basically what things you can do is. To sum it up, it's all the things that you can do when you're feeling down in the dumps. I think, it's very easy to get stuck in the mindset of like, oh, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough resources, I don't have the qualifications or the skills, I don't have this, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, it's so easy to see all the obstacles that are in the way. Um, even doing this, I'm like having to work through my own limiting beliefs. Sometimes the obstacles are just in your head. They're thoughts that you have that make you think that you can't do the things that you want to do. It's an attachment to an identity that you've created for yourself. Like there's so much going on all the time. Um, but yeah, the whole point of things you can do is to just try and find something that you can do in each moment that will offer you some form of improvement or relief from your experience. Um, and that's generally the mindset I try to keep is, if I am feeling stuck, I look for the one thing that I can do. Sometimes it's leaning further into the thing that I'm struggling to do. Like right now, I'm I'm leaning into doing this podcast because I've been avoiding it for so long. But sometimes the thing that you can do is just rest or to watch a film or to go and eat some good food. There's so many things you can do that can, make your experience more enjoyable as you go through life, as you grow, as you learn more about yourself, as you improve, as you get to where you want to go. Um, and that's what this project is all about. So, um, I'll just say one last thing because it's always it's always something that I worry about, and that is just that I'm not trained in any of this, other than my life experience, and I think life experience is just as valid as any formal qualification because bloody hell, I've been there. And this has worked for me, but I guess just from like I know some people feel more secure getting information from someone with like a professional qualification, and if that's you and you don't feel comfortable taking these tips and tricks, then that is absolutely okay. I only want to be sharing this with people who feel comfortable engaging with the content and are happy to just try things and take responsibility for themselves and their better well-being and um, be proactive in their improvement. And I only want people who are going to feel safe in this space, and um, everyone is welcome, but if you don't feel safe, then um, I would recommend you find somewhere where you do. Um, yeah, I don't know how much of that last bit I needed to say, but you know what? I I'm also learning. Just to let everyone know, like I'm not perfect. I don't think that I have all the answers, but I do have a lot of valuable information that I want to share with you. Um, so I am going to offer myself compassion and love as well. And um, allow myself to be in this space, knowing that I'm not perfect, knowing that there's still room to grow, knowing that I will continue learning more about um, this part of life because, man, I love finding out just I love learning about this stuff so much. I think it makes such a massive improvement to your quality of life. And I hope that you get as much out of it as I have. So I am going to end the podcast there. I'm not going to listen back to it because if I do, I won't post it. Um, and you can find me on Instagram at the moment. I am slowly but surely venturing into the online space. It's so nerve wracking. Honestly, the fear of being seen is real right here. But if I don't do it, it won't happen. So Instagram is at things you underscore can underscore do. And I will be posting on there and I'll also be posting on here. So let me know if you're listening to the podcast. Send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to know who's listening. And I will see you for the next episode where I will be talking about keeping a grateful diary and how that can improve your perspective on life. Okay, bye.